Hey there, the Japan Code here, and I've decided I'm going to be doing some weekly immersion update videos. I got the idea of doing that because Jordan has been doing weekly videos for like almost 2 months now, where he talks about what sort of things he's been immersing with, and I thought that was a cool idea. I actually have 5 reasons why I decided to do this that I'd like to explain before I actually get into it. The first reason is that like taking the time at the end of each day to like look back on the day and see what I've done, I think is going to be helpful for me because if I haven't done a lot, I can try to think about why I didn't do a lot. Did I just not feel like it, or was I like procrastinating or something? And I can try to like see if there's something I can do about it so that I can do better the next day. And it's also just as a whole probably gonna motivate me to try to do more the next day. So that's my first reason. Second, people is I know that some people, myself included, sometimes get motivated to try and do more when they see someone else doing a lot or maybe doing more than them. Like I know sometimes on Twitter I'll see some people talking about what they've done, and it's like, holy crap, that's a lot. I need to up my game, and then I try to do more. So hopefully it's gonna motivate some people to try and up their game. Third reason is I actually like kind of frequently get asked, or either get asked specifically or like see just on Twitter people asking for a media recommendation. They'll want like anime recommendation or like variety show recommendations and stuff like that. And I figured, if every week I make a video where I talk about what media I've been using to immerse, it's kind of giving people recommendations, right? So that's another reason why I want to do this. The fourth reason is that these days I don't actually get a lot of chances to like speak English out loud. I mean, I don't speak out loud much in any language right now, but especially English because everyone at work and in my family speaks French. And then when I'm at home, I'm spending all my time with, or almost all of my time with Japanese. So I do get to use English with like Twitter and like I do watch a couple of English videos. But as far as speaking, I like never speak English because I don't get to like see my friends much because my friends speak English, and that's where I was getting most of my speaking, like practice, not practice, but just like like actually speaking in English. So by doing these videos, I'm hoping it's gonna help me like maintain my English better because I've definitely noticed it has deteriorated a little bit since I started Japanese. So that's the fourth reason. And the fifth reason is just I used to do weekly update videos back in like 2013, 2014. It was like before I went to Japan. Because I was, in one of my previous Japanese learning attempt, I was part of this thing called Team Japanese, where like languages would like pit against each other, and people would make weekly updates showing their progress. And I was doing that by video because I liked doing videos. And after seeing Jordan's videos, I was like, I kind of missed doing that, and so here I am doing it. So yeah, that's it for my reasons. I'm obviously not gonna mention them in the future videos, but I wanted to talk about them first so people know why I'm doing this, because it might seem pointless otherwise. So this is gonna cover the week from April 26th till May 2nd. So it's from Sunday to Saturday, basically. This week I actually only used 3 kinds of media, just to give you a little heads up on what I'm going to be talking about. So I watched a good amount of anime, I read some manga, and then watched a little bit of YouTube. So let's start with anime, I guess. With anime this week I watched 47... I'm going to be looking here the whole time because I have a list of everything, by the way. And the camera's like, I can't put the camera behind my screen because there's a wall right behind my screen. So for anime, I watched 47 episodes. Now I've separated in 2 categories. There's a seasonal anime and then like others. The seasonal anime, I'll only mention like the first week that I watched the show and then the final week. In between, I'll just be like, I've watched, I don't know, like 20 seasonal episode or whatever. I'm not going to go through every single series, but now because it's the first time, I will. Uh, so the first series was Kakushigoto. I watched 2 episodes of that. This is basically, it's a comedy, and it's basically, there's this guy who's a mangaka, and he writes like ecchi basically, and he doesn't want his daughter to find out about that, but he's famous, so he goes through like ridiculous lengths to hide it from her, and it's really funny. The next one is Arute. It's a girl in like, I don't know, the 16th century or something like that in Italy who wants to become a painter, but she's noble and she's a girl, so it's not something that should happen back then. I'm not saying that. That's the context. And like she goes and tries to become a painter basically, and it's pretty interesting. It's not the best of anime, but it's actually like I'm enjoying it, watching it. So it's pretty good. Next one is Princess Connecto Redive. Princess Connect Redive. And that was 2 episodes for Arute, and this is also 2 episodes. Basically, I was catching up because I had like a week where I didn't watch many seasonal anime, so most of them are gonna have 2 episodes. This show is actually like really, really funny. It's directed by the same director who. It's directed by the same director who directed. Nice. I'm not even gonna change that. Who directed Konosuba, so it has a similar sort of humor. It's like very generic, just like a main protagonist who has amnesia and doesn't remember anything and barely speaks in a fantasy world, who joins up with a very clueless but big-breasted girl and other characters. But it's really funny. Like, it's intentionally generic. It's basically a parody, I guess you can say that. But yeah, if you try it, like, it's gonna seem really generic and boring at first, but as you finish the first episode, you're probably gonna have laughed quite a few times by then. So yeah, 2 episodes of that. Then I watched 2 episodes. Let me see if I can read that all. 本好きの下克上、司書になるためには手段を選んでいられません。2. Basically in English it's Ascendance of Bookworm. That's what people call it, Ascendance of Bookworm. Season 2. That's a show about a girl who gets reincarnated into a weak young girl who can't really do anything by herself, and she loves books, but the books are very rare in that world because she's like in an old time world where books were rare and expensive, so only the rich people had them. And that's her story as she tries to, get to read books, basically. There's more to it than that. There's magic involved eventually and stuff, but that's the gist of it. Next stuff is Besatsu Olympia Kyukurosu. 2 episodes of that. They're only 5 minutes episode. This is like a clay motion sort of animation. It's basically this Greek guy. Back in like not Greek, Roman. Is that Greek? I don't know. I'm horrible at that sort of stuff. This Roman guy from Rome gets transported into modern day Japan, basically, and it's pretty funny. The main character's voice is the same voice actor as Jotaro from JoJo Part 2, so it's pretty awesome for that. But yeah, I watched 2 episodes of that. Then I watched Pocket Monster 2019. So basically the current Pokemon anime series. Watched an episode of that. I'm actually really enjoying it. Not surprisingly, but like I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. Like I knew I was going to enjoy it because it's Pokemon, but yeah. Then after that, okay, another ridiculously long title. Otome game no 破滅乙女ゲームの破滅フラグしかない悪役令嬢に転生してしまった。My next life I was a villainess. 2 episodes of that. That's also a pretty nice game. Basically, anime. Basically, this girl gets, again, it's an isekai again. Gets reincarnated into a game from an otome game, into a world from an otome game that she used to play, and she's reincarnated as the villain from that series, where every single route, no matter who the game, not the series, but the game's main character ends up with, because it's an otome game, so it's like a dating. This character that she reincarnated in always ends up either killed or what's the word, like sent away, so and has to live in isolation. So she's trying to do everything that she can to not end up in this situation. And that's actually like a really nice take on isekai series. I know there's a lot of those otome isekai in light novels, but as far as anime, it's like basically the first one, and it's a really nice one. Next up, I've got Appareranman. One episode of that. That's a series where a genius from Japan and a samurai from Japan end up in America, and are participating in I don't remember what it's called, but like it's a car race through the desert, basically, and it's actually pretty fun. Sadly, I think it's delayed because of the current world situation, but I watched an episode of that, and so far it's pretty enjoyable. After that, it's Fruits Basket, second season, +2. +2. Why did I say +2? That's what I wrote, +2. I meant to say 2 episodes of that. I don't really think I need to explain what Fruits Basket is. I think most people probably know what that is. But basically, it's a story about this girl Toru, who goes and lives with these guys from the Soma family, and that family has a curse where they like transform into the different zodiac animals. So I don't really know how to explain it more than that, but it's I think everyone knows that it's a great what is it, a shoujo series, I guess. Or is it a josei, maybe? That's probably more that. I don't know. But it's a great slice of life series. Next up, I've got 2 episodes of Gurei Puniju. How do you explain that? That's gonna sound really weird, and it is weird, but it's basically like a mecha, but it's not mecha. It's like flesh mecha. I know that's strange. Basically, there's these people that have the power somehow to transform into like a mascot-like monster, but the mascot is empty and can be unzipped, and someone can go in it. So that's why what I meant by a flesh mecha. That sounds really strange, and it is kind of strange, but I've actually been enjoying it a lot. So that was a big surprise for me, because I thought I was gonna hate it. Because it looked like it was going to be a really trashy show, and it kind of is in some aspect, but that's what that is. I'd still enjoying it enough to keep going. So yeah. Next up, 2 episodes of Yesterday o Utatte. That's basically like a. It's I don't know how to explain this. It's like kind of like a love triangle in a way, but it's more like a love square, if anything. Like this guy likes that girl, but that girl has a guy who likes her, and the guy has a girl who likes her, and then these two have met now, and who knows if they're gonna like each other now. I don't know, but it's very realistic in the way that all the characters are flawed in some ways. And I don't want to talk much about it, but it's actually like really good, and I think it's gonna be the drama of the season, and it's gonna make me cry my eyes out by the end. I'm sure of it. Then after that, I have another Pokemon series, Hakume no Tsubasa, Twilight Wings. That's only 5 minutes per episode, and I think the episodes only come out like once a month. But I watched an episode of that, and that's pretty enjoyable. And then last but not least, for the seasonal anime, I've watched an episode of Kaminoto, Tower of God. That probably doesn't need any introduction. If you watch anime, you should give that a try. It's the great A great action-based series, and probably the best one of this season, I think. It's based on a webtoon, and I think it's like the first like full-fledged webtoon anime, so it means a lot. Because if it does well, which I think it will, because everyone's loving it right now. But if it does well, it opens the door to getting more, webtoons being adapted. And webtoons are like Korean manga, basically. So that's pretty cool. And it's in Japanese, it's not in Korean. I don't understand Korean whatsoever. So yeah, that was all the seasonal anime. Whew. So as I said, I'm not going to talk about them next week. I'm just going to say like 20 episodes of seasonal anime because that took a long time. So now for the other stuff that I've watched, other anime that I've watched that are not seasonal anime. The first one is Hajime no Ippo. I've been getting to that a lot recently. I watched 19 episodes of that this week. Basically, like Hajime no Ippo is my tablet anime. So it's the anime that I watch on my tablet when I'm in the bus or at work during lunch, and when I'm on the go, basically. So I can't like binge it because of that. Like I could binge it at home, but that would I'm sticking to the tablet, so I can't binge it because of that. But I do get a consistent amount of episodes because I take the bus 5 days a week because I'm still working right now. So yeah. Hajime no Ippo is a boxing series, and if you know anything about sports anime, you probably know Hajime no Ippo, and you know why it's great, because sports anime is great. So yeah. Next, I have Koisuru Asteroido. That's a slice of life series that's very relaxing. It's about these schoolgirls who are in the like astronomy club, I guess, and they like to look at the sky. The night sky, I should say. So yeah, I watched 2 episodes of that. That's not much at all. The thing is that this is the show that I'm currently watching with like during my night routine. I'm trying to watch a relaxing anime every night. But as you can see by the fact that I've only watched 2 episodes, I have not done my night routine a lot this week. So I really have to like get back on that. But yeah, that's the relaxing anime that I'm watching right now. And last but not least, I've watched the first 4 episodes of Hyoka. Honestly, I don't know how to explain this. I've already watched this in English in the past, so it's a rewatch, but it's been so long that I don't remember anything. But basically, like, there's this girl, they're in a club. I don't know what the club name is. I cannot remember it. And it's a word that I don't know in Japanese. But like they like to solve like school related mysteries, I guess, but more specifically she likes to do that. Like there's things, she gets really interested in something and then she wants to figure out what happened or what the situation was. And then there's this other guy who doesn't want to do anything, wants to maintain his energy and only spend his energy to save energy later on, basically. And he doesn't want to do it, but he knows that he's going to have to spend more energy if he refuses to do it than if he actually does it, so he ends up helping her. And it's a really interesting, I guess it's a slice of life series, I would say. But yeah, those were all the different anime series that I've watched this week. 47 episodes, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 seasonal anime. And the 3 anime that are already completed, and I'm just watching at my own pace. Next up, we've got manga. I've read 4 volumes of manga this week. First up, I've got Barakamon that I've read 12 chapters or 1.5 volumes. Like I mentioned earlier, I have like a night routine, and this is the manga that I'm reading to relax at the end of the day with all the lights dimmed and the computer screen monitor turned off, and just to relax. And that's what I've been reading, a couple of chapters a day. Barakamon is a series. It's basically this guy who's a calligraphy artist, like he draws letters. And he's sent to this very, very rural location to like calm down because he's like really hot-headed and like punched a judge for not giving him the first position or something like that. And it's a really nice slice of life, very wholesome series. where the guy like, basically grows up mentally, matures, and yeah, that's nice. So next we have a series that is a long title again.リゼロから始める異世界生活第4章聖域と強欲の魔女. I think everyone knows, well, not everyone, but a lot of you are going to know this series, ReZero. This is the manga version, though, not the original light novel. And this is the fourth act, so the act that starts right after the end of the anime's first season. So I read the first volume of that, because that's the only volume that's out. Read all 5 chapters from that. So that was a whole volume. I'm not going to get into what that is. I mean, not the specific title, but the series as a whole is a guy gets reincarnated into a world, and it turns out he has the power to go back in time by dying, basically. Returned by death. So, yeah. Next up, there's Ao no Exorcisto, Blue Exorcist. I read a whole volume, 4 chapters. That was volume 10, I believe. Wait, let me check. Yeah, I have volume 11 here, so I read volume 10. It's a story about exorcists who hunt demons, basically. That's simple. And then, last but not least, I read half a volume, 2 chapters, of Shingeki no Kyojin Gaiden Kuinaki Sentaku. That's the Attack on Titan, I don't remember what it's called, but it's the spin-off that's the backstory of Levi, basically. So I've actually already read this in English, but it's been a long time, so I don't really remember much of it. But yeah, that was actually the really nice 2 chapters, and it's nice to remind myself of what the backstory of Levi is, and who doesn't like Levi. I mean, there's probably people who don't like Levi, but who doesn't like Levi, right? So that's it for the manga. 4 volumes of manga. And then the last thing I did, which is even less, as you've noticed, I went from what I did the most to what I'm doing. I did the least. The last thing I did was some YouTube videos. I watched about 40 minutes of the channel called Fishers, which is like a group of people who make videos. They're not gaming videos; they're just like regular videos, I guess. I mean, you can't really explain what they do. It's a YouTube. It's a YouTube. It's a Japanese YouTube channel, so you get the idea. I just like it better than the regular normal top channels, just because it's a group of people, so you see them interacting together, and that's pretty cool, especially from a language learning perspective, since you don't often see that. I guess the only other place that I can think of is like Terrace House, where I'm talking like real people talking regular Japanese, not like professional voice acting, and they're not following scripts and stuff like that, so unscripted. So that's why. And the other one that I've watched is about an hour of Daidara Games. That's a gaming channel, as you can tell. I watched his series on the game Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. That is called in Japanese. It's Susume Kinopiyo Taicho. Yeah, actually, I don't watch Let's Plays much, but because of Nico Nico Sensei, I've been trying to watch Let's Plays more, and I found this one that I'm actually really enjoying. So that's why I've been watching it. I guess an hour is like 3 or 4 episodes of it. Yeah, that was it. So that took. I feel like I'm gonna say this a lot, but that took longer than I thought it would. But again, like I said, I don't get an opportunity to like speak English much, so because of that, I'm having a hell of a hard time being like concise and to the point. I also did a decent amount of things. Like, I could have done more, but I also could have done a lot less, especially considering that right now I'm like getting ready to move in 2 weeks, and I'm still working full time. I'm not quarantined or anything. I mean, I'm not going outside for work and grocery stores, but I already wasn't doing that. But on top of that, I have to like pack and clean my apartment and all of that. So because of that, I think I did a decent amount. So I'm pretty satisfied with that, and I think that's a good That's a good, I guess, like benchmark as the first video, because yes, it's not the worst amount, so there's the possibility of having some weeks where I do less, but it's also not the best, so there's the possibility of having weeks where I do more. So because of that, I think that makes a great like middle benchmark kind of thing. I'm not really gonna set any sort of like goals in this, because I don't want to have a goal. The only goal, I'm gonna mention it here because that's gonna be my goal every week basically, is to just keep on doing what's fun, you know. Like I've mentioned in my update video, I've finally like understood how important having fun with your immersion is compared to trying to do the more efficient thing. And because of that, I guess my only goal is to just go with fun. If I'm doing something, it stops being fun, then stop doing it. And don't start doing something if it doesn't sound fun just because I think I should be doing it. So I guess that's my goal, to have fun. Have fun, immerse as much as I want and can, I guess. And then just do whatever. So so again, I don't really know where I want to go with this series as a whole. So right now I was literally just like reading off a list of what I did. But like if you have any ideas of what I should do to make it more interesting or more helpful, please let me know, because I do want this to be better. This is just like the first episode and I don't really know where I want to go with this. But yeah, please leave a comment and let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you think I should add, and how to make it better. Obviously, being, you know, going at it faster is gonna be better, but I'll work on that as I keep going. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.